How's that? Can you guys hear me okay? So I wasn't sure what to read because I don't actually deal with much reconciliation in my work. I avoid it when possible, although I think I do deal with a lot of truth. And so I'm going to read two short pieces that hint at truths below the surface. And both of these pieces are from my collection, The Skinned Bird, which is a collection of essays, which is over there by the wine. Kickball change. It was country late, the air outside getting cool and damp and purple. I sat at my mother's parents' dining table making clothespin dolls while the crickets whined and Teddy Dog sat by the back door smacking his muzzle at errant flies. The doll project made me feel like Laura Ingalls Wilder. I clipped red and white checks and velvet strips from Grandma's quilting stash. My fingers, the wood, the table were shiny with glue. All of my girl clothespins had straight hair because I could not get the curls to stay on. I wanted my grandma to draw the faces because she could draw tiny swoops that turned into eyelashes and lips, but she'd gone to her room and closed the door. She did that sometimes, for hours, days. But I always had something to keep me busy. If I ran out of clothespins, there were jars to fill with grasshoppers. Suddenly, the bedroom door flung open, and my grandmother sashayed down the hall in red velour sweatpants and shiny heels. "I bet you don't know how to tap dance, do you?" she said, her grin wide and electric. She grabbed my hand and pulled me into the tiny, dingy kitchen with the pink walls and cobwebs. "You'll learn tonight. Let's start with a kickball chain. Don't you have any clackety shoes? We'll make do. We can make do." She started to hum some tune, and I tried to follow her steps, shuffling on the linoleum, our fingers laced, stuck, knuckle to knuckle. The second piece is, I won't introduce it. This is crazy. Kathleen had just pulled me out onto the porch, away from everyone else, away from Claire. Even though Kathleen is Claire's mother, Claire almost always calls her Kathleen, not Mom. Claire is my best friend, but her mom is weird. If Kathleen was mad, she would have said so right in the kitchen in front of everyone, but she saved her weird stuff for in private, unless it was totally public. Like once, for Claire's birthday, she hired some random guy to come to school and sing her a song. We ran away from him for ages, but eventually another teacher found us, and we had to go to Barb's homeroom class where, of course, a crowd had gathered, and this guy sang Claire a song about how beautiful she was and gave her balloons. Claire said she was so embarrassed, but no one else's mom ever sent in a guy to sing for their birthday, so I'm not so sure. That year, Claire got a big mirror on a carved wooden stand for her birthday. Claire said Kathleen made a speech about Claire's womanhood and seeing her true self. Sometimes I think that mirror was a dumb present for a sixth grader. Now, with Kathleen dragging me out on the porch, I was all tense. She made me look at her. I really wish she'd act like a regular mom and just leave me and Claire alone. "I want you to know how special and beautiful you are." Oh my God. "Now look at me. Do you understand that you can do anything you want to in the world?" Yes. My mother told me this all the time, but more like, "Quit screwing around, you're the smart one." And you are a beautiful, smart, capable woman. Do you understand that? You need to understand that you're a beautiful and smart and capable woman, and you're going to do amazing things. I want you to tell me you understand me. I do. I didn't mean to whine, but I did a little. "Can I please go back in?" "Yes, you can." She smoothed my hair down on my head and sort of patted it. I could tell that I hadn't answered the way she wanted, like I was supposed to say, "Oh, wow, you're right. Suddenly you made me look beautiful just by saying it." I have beautiful hair when I brush it and beautiful eyes when I'm not giving a look, but I am not beautiful. My grandmother has taken hundreds of pictures of me, usually for practice when she gets a new camera lens. She has told me a million times that I can have a pretty smile if I don't show my teeth and don't curl my lips so it gets mashed under my nose and if I hold very still. She says the problem is that I insist on doing unattractive things. like popping my finger out of my mouth or to make a water dropping sound, and also slouching. My mother has pictures of me that she says are very pretty. She says I'm photogenic, which I guess is a kind of beautiful. But it's not the kind of beautiful that strangers see. They tell me that my haircut is nice. Grown-ups act like Claire is stranger beautiful. This one time at a bus stop, this crazy guy was freaking out about how beautiful she was. He said, if you were standing naked before some guy with your hair ass length, you'd make his world. He also said he wanted to craft Claire a purse out of leather. He didn't say a single word to me the whole time, even though I was standing right next to her and no one else was around. And I don't get it, because Claire wears the same size pants that I do, but somehow everyone knows I'm fat. One time I mentioned this and Claire got mad at me and said that she wasn't the same size as me at all, that her waist was much smaller, only most jeans didn't fit her right, and so I said, do you mean you aren't fat, you just have a fat butt? I guess I have a fat stomach and she has a fat butt, and that makes all the difference to hippie guys at bus stops. She also has blonde hair and blue eyes and straight teeth, whereas I have dishwater hair and hazel eyes, and I'm not supposed to show my teeth when I smile. Claire doesn't tell me I'm beautiful the way her mother does, and I don't tell her she's beautiful either, since everyone else does. I remind her that her ass is gigantic whenever she says something about how another gross guy said something creepy to her. One time, I told her to stop bragging about all the gross guys, and she told me it can't be bragging if she doesn't like it. I don't think that's true. But she tells me I don't understand, since creepy bus stop men leave me alone. But that isn't true either. Bus stop men don't leave me alone. They just don't say anything that I can tell like a funny story. They stand really close when I'm sitting on the bench and there's nowhere else to go, so their cocks are right in my face. They sit next to me on the bus when I have a window seat and pretend to fall asleep, so I have to push them when it's my stop. Once, a bum came into our school because of the open campus, and he followed me until I was stuck in a corner by the auditorium. Then he slapped his hands on the wall next to my face and leaned in like he was going to kiss me. I dropped to the ground and got away. Afterwards, all the kids told Barb how he must have been crazy because he wanted to kiss me. Can you imagine how crazy he must have been? Thank you.